Este episodio de Historias Rockeras es una presentación de la gira de Rhapsody por Colombia, que será entre el 26 y el 29 de enero de 2023 en las ciudades de Cali, Pereira, Medellín y Bogotá. Encuentra los boletos en entradasamarillas.com. Historias Rockeras te invita a la gira de Tierra Santa por Colombia, celebrando 25 años de carrera entre el 9 y el 12 de febrero de 2023 en las ciudades de Cali, Pereira, Medellín y Bogotá. Adquiere tus boletos en entradasamarillas.com. Este capítulo de Historias Rockeras es una invitación de 70,000 Tons of Metal, el crucero metalero más grande del mundo, zarpando el próximo 30 de enero desde Miami en el Freedom of the Seas, una nave que llevará de paseo por el Atlántico hacia las Bahamas a 3.500 metaleros de todos los rincones de este planeta. Son 5 días, 60 bandas, 120 toques en 4 escenarios diferentes y todo lo que puede pasar en aguas internacionales, incluyendo un after party karaoke de superestrellas del metal. Ya se han anunciado las primeras bandas lideradas por Nightwish, Insomnium, Camelot, Corpiclani, Creator, Fallujah, Melesh, Manegarm, November, Obscura, Ocean of Slumber, Rotting Christ, Uli John Roth y Warbringer. Para encontrar más información, conéctate a www.el70,000, la palabra tons, tons.com, 70,000tons.com. Y ahora sí, un nuevo capítulo de Historias Rockeras. This is Carlos Oñoro here. One more chapter of Rock Speak, which is the English version of some of the chapters that we have at Historias Rockeras. We try to talk about rock, metal, some history, some stories, also reviews of albums, news. We try to summarize a little bit of what we do in Historias Rockeras, proposing you an exercise, as I've been insisting around all these days. I would practice my English talking without reading. Well, today I will read, but the idea is it's an exercise between you guys and me. I try to practice my improvisation, my English. Of course, it is not perfect, and that is the idea. If you're learning English, you might find very difficult to follow along some content involving native people, like movies. You know, they have their ways of pronouncing, and they delete, to put it some way. They keep from pronouncing everything sometimes, and the speed, you know, there's a bunch of stuff, accents. So if you have some content in the middle of the road, not so fast, and also like in the dark, the way I do it, so maybe you can find two things: some content that you might enjoy, and then also an in between your path of learning English and consuming content that helps in the way. So the story that we have today is one of those stories I have always thought it would be great to talk about. And it's a story that has to deal with a band that will be playing this weekend in Rock al Parque. Rock al Parque has 4 days, 2 weekends. This Saturday, 26th, is the first date. The 27th is the second date, and then it jumps to the next Saturday, 3rd, and Sunday, the 4th of December. So the first day of the festival is the metal day. There's 2 stages. One stage is like more black metal, and the other stage is death metal. So in the death metal is playing Frantic Amber. Frantic Amber is the main topic of this chapter. But this is a story, a personal story that happened to appear within this process. So let me give you a little bit of insight on this. I've been 8 years, 8 years ago, I first contacted Frantic Amber because I was looking for new bands to feature in a festival that we have, which is Metal Millennium. I don't know, maybe some of you guys have heard about it. Yeah, the first Metal Millennium was in 1999, a long time ago. So yeah, I contacted them, and all this time we've been seeing any chances, any opportunities for them to come to either Colombia or Latin America. And earlier this year we got to a conclusion that we would try to pitch the band to Rock al Parque, thinking that Rock al Parque could be a great platform for them to be communicated, to be discovered by metalheads around in Colombia, and maybe the material would have some resonance outside. In the campaign of this band getting to be known, we are in times that are more difficult, way more difficult to get attention because of the not the complications. Let's say music technology has democratized creation, and there's a lot more creatives out there. But at the same time, the income for artists, the way artists could fund themselves, were easier in the past. So there's a bunch of challenges out there. But this band, let's say this band has grown, and we pitch this band for Rock al Parque. I gathered a catalog of bands, some of them international, and I sent them to those guys making the decisions at Rock al Parque. And from all those bands, they picked Frantic Amber. Frantic Amber is a very special band because they are 5 girls. This is a band that is made up of 5 musicians that are female, but they play technical death metal, which is, to put it some way, is the toughest, is the high performance sport within music. They later decided to keep being 5 ladies, but now there would be 3 guitar players, a bass player, and the singer, 5 of them, together with a male drummer. And the main case of this chapter today is the story of their drummer. The drummer is Marcus, and Marcus had a great story to share. While we were doing all this, and happenings were falling in, to put it some way, he had something to say. He said, "Hey, you know what? I'm Colombian, but I don't want to interpret this or tell you this. I would like to read what he just wrote about his personal story, his personal trip." And now is when I quote. So this is finally happening. When I was 4 years old, I was brought from Colombia by my adoptive mother to the small Swedish town of Falun, where I grew up. I never really felt an urge to find out about my roots like I know so many other adoptees had. Instead, I always accepted what had happened to me and that my birth mother must have had good reasons to send her son away. Once in a while, I would Google her name, the only information I had from my adoptive papers, but found no clues. Fast forward to 2020 and the age of social media, I got in touch with this woman through a Facebook group for Colombian adoptees. She claimed to be able to help adoptive mothers and children reconnect. I thought, well, okay, why not? I took some photos of my papers with my phone and sent them to her from Messenger. 2 days later, she replied, "I've found her. Here is the number to your mother. Also, here are the numbers to your 2 sisters, your aunt, and 4 cousins. They all very much want to hear from you." I was in complete shock, totally unexpected. Was this real? How can I be sure? I probably should ask for a DNA test or something, right? Once I calmed down a bit, I sent her a photo of my old Colombian passport, followed by my current Swedish one. Then a selfie and a shy hola. She replied with a selfie. I had never seen my resemblance in another face before. And at that moment, when I saw hers, all my doubts just vanished. No need for a DNA test. And so we started to write. I was told about my story. My mother was only 15 when she gave birth to me. My father, who was twice her age, was long gone. She had no idea where. I had a sister who was 2 years younger than me, and we got separated when she was only 1 year old, and naturally had no memories of me, but however, always had some suspicion. My grandmother had always been talking and rambling about someone called Carlito, but nobody paid much attention to that since she was mentally ill and was often confused about things. My mother never told anyone. When I suddenly appeared out of nowhere, it was as if all things fell into place. They all knew then that their abuela had been right all along. She was just never able to let it go. Sadly, she passed away before she got to hear the news. On one single day, they all wrote to me. My mother had told them our story and showed them this picture of me and my sister taken the year we got separated. We have been in touch almost every day since. Even though my Spanish is bad and their English is worse, with the help of Translator app, we managed to have endless conversations about pretty much everything. For years, I have dreamt about getting to know Colombia and to even play with my band there. Now, I was more determined than ever to make it happen. Unfortunately, with COVID raging on, it just was not possible. That was until now. Out of nowhere, we got the news that my band Frantic Amber was confirmed for this year's Rock al Parque in Bogota, one of the major festivals in South America. What a coincidence. 40 years after the picture was taken, I will finally reunite with my mother, sisters, and the rest of the family. And they even get to see me play in front of many thousands of fellow Colombians. This week, it will all come true. And I close the quoting. Wow, I have to say, this is a great story. I don't know, of course, with a happy ending, every story is happy. Still, the bitter taste of the sense of the notion that this happens every day and has happened every single day for 40 years to thousands of people. and thinking those stories, not all of them end up with a happy ending. Of course, I have to say it is a tough story. Hopefully, the end is this time happy. Of course, I have to say, Frantic Amber is playing this Saturday. They are one of the heaviest bands in the festival, and it has that special thing women have. And if they play death metal and if they have long hair, it will be a show of spinning and wild hair all over the stage of these 5 girls and this guy Marcus. Go see them this Saturday at 6:30 in Bio Stage at Brocal Parque just before Massacre. And now I have to say, I have no other choice of saying what I have in my mind, and I hope one day love wouldn't separate families and loved ones. Meanwhile, my name is Carlos Oñoro, and this was another chapter of Rockspeak. Until the next time, bye-bye. Este episodio de Historias Rockeras es una presentación de la gira de Rhapsody por Colombia, que será entre el 26 y el 29 de enero de 2023 en las ciudades de Cali, Pereira, Medellín y Bogotá. Encuentra los boletos en entradasamarillas.com. Historias Rockeras te invita a la gira de Tierra Santa por Colombia, celebrando 25 años de carrera entre el 9 y el 12 de febrero de 2023 en las ciudades de Cali, Pereira, Medellín y Bogotá. Adquiere tus boletos en entradasamarillas.com. Este capítulo de Historias Rockeras es una invitación de 70,000 Tons of Metal, el crucero metalero más grande del mundo, zarpando el próximo 30 de enero desde Miami en el Freedom of the Seas, una nave que llevará de paseo por el Atlántico hacia las Bahamas a 3,500 metaleros de todos los rincones de este planeta. Son 5 días, 60 bandas, 120 toques en 4 escenarios diferentes y todo lo que puede pasar en aguas internacionales, incluyendo un after party karaoke de superestrellas del metal. Ya se han anunciado las primeras bandas lideradas por Nightwish, Insomnium, Camelot, Corpiclani, Creator, Fallujah, Melesh, Manegarm, November, Obscura, Ocean of Slumber, Rotting Christ, Uli John Roth y Warbringer. Para encontrar más información, conéctate a www.70,000, la palabra tons, tons.com, 70,000tons.com.